I'm Joe Goodman, and welcome to the very first episode of The Scoop, your source for gaming and other nerd-related news. Now, it's no secret that 2020 is going to be a huge year for gamers. This year is packed full of some great titles that are sure to go down in history, and with some brand new consoles from Microsoft and Sony coming in this holiday season. Both the PS5 and Xbox Series X are shaping up to be some major powerhouses and may even be on the same level as current PCs when it comes to hardware. The idea of finally getting new consoles after 7 years is extremely exciting, but the wait might be too long. At least we have all the new great games coming out in the meantime, right? Right? Not exactly. Video games being delayed is nothing new, especially with the current generation of consoles. But lately, we've been getting hit pretty hard with them as it seems there's nothing but one delay after the other. This domino effect really started last year as many anticipated games were being pushed back to early or mid 2020. The first noteworthy game to be pushed back was Ubisoft's Skull and Bones. The game was first announced in 2017. However, it was then delayed in May of 2019 until sometime after March of this year. Not much has been revealed about the game's story or game mechanics, but we do know it's an action-adventure pirate game set in an open world for players to explore with friends on their very own pirate crew, similar to Microsoft's Sea of Thieves, if not with a grittier style. Shortly after this came the heartbreaking news that the next installment of the beloved Animal Crossing series, Animal Crossing New Horizons, was delayed by Nintendo to around the same time of March 20th, 2020. The reason Nintendo gave for the delay was to help limit the crunch that the development team was under, which is something I respect. Doom Eternal, the sequel to the popular Doom reboot in 2016, was supposed to release late last year until id Software pushed the game back to the same date as Animal Crossing New Horizons. However, this new release date applies to all the versions except the one on Nintendo Switch, which is still missing a confirmed release date. This next game that was delayed has been on the minds of PlayStation players for years. On October 24th, The Last of Us Part 2 was officially delayed by Naughty Dog. The Last of Us Part 2 has been a long-awaited game by fans with nothing more than rumors to go off of, hoping for a sequel to the masterpiece that was The Last of Us. Part 2 was originally announced for a release date of February 21st, but just a few days after the news about Doom Eternal, we were hit with a delay until May 29th, making fans wait on the edge of their seats for a few months longer. With the first game finding itself as many people's game of the decade, this particular delay was tough on the fans. I don't know what it was about October 24th, but the very same day as we got news of The Last of Us being delayed, we got news of not one, not two, but 3 Ubisoft titles being delayed until sometime after April with no clear release dates set. The first game was Ubisoft's Watch Dogs Legion, which is the third installment in the franchise and has a unique gameplay mechanic that allows players to literally play as anyone they see in the game world. This game has been anticipated by the fans ever since its reveal. We don't know too much about the other 2 games that were delayed. However, we do know that Rainbow Six Quarantine is a 3-player tactical shooter similar to Rainbow Six Siege, but instead of going head-to-head with other players in a 5v5 shootout, players are up against a threat that puts all of humankind at risk. Gods and Monsters is the 3rd game delayed by the studio, where the player is on a quest to save the gods of the Greek pantheon. Square Enix also put off 2 of its most anticipated games, with their Final Fantasy VII remake being pushed back from March 3rd to April 10th, and their Marvel Avengers game being delayed from May 15th to September 4th, putting it very close to my most anticipated game of the year, which I'll get to in a bit. Dying Light 2 wants the player's choices to actually have weight in the world, and so every choice made by the player shapes the world and the future of the post-apocalyptic landscape. Sadly, the developer Techland has not given any new release date for the game after the initial delay. The final game I'm talking about today is also my most anticipated game of the year, and maybe the decade. Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person RPG made by CD Projekt Red, and according to them, will be their magnum opus, surpassing even The Witcher 3, which is the most awarded game in history. CD Projekt Red first announced the game in 2013 with a teaser trailer, and have quietly been hard at work on the game since, with an initial release date of April 16th. However, on January 16th, the developer put out the heartbreaking news that the game will be delayed until September 17th. I've waited 7 years for this game to come out, so I guess I can wait 5 more months. That's a wrap for this episode of The Scoop. What games are you looking forward to? Tweet me at ZTV Goofing Off with the hashtag TheScoop. Tune in next time for more exciting gaming and nerd-related news. See ya.